So I'm using Zoom to record. You're gonna see how many times I actually say Also, you're probably noticing something weird going on with my camera. It's like going in and out. I do not know how to stop that. Something weird is happening there. Okay, so I'm gonna get off my face and I'm gonna share my screen with you. And I'm going to just go down the list as efficiently as I can. And hopefully I'll get everything in. Okay, so sharing that screen. And let me just look at my list. Okay, weighting grades. So to weight grades, what you have to do is you have to set up your categories, or they're called groups, in your assignments. So for this class, I have homework is worth 50%, and then the quizzes are 25%, and then the research paper is 25%. So I have those categories, or they're called groups, set up. This is how I add a new group. And then right here, as I'm doing it, I can put the percentage in. If you don't make them add up to 100%, nothing bad happens. I'm not sure how that works. I'm not a mathematician. So yeah, just you have to do the math on your own. Okay. And then to make a rubric, okay, so that's the next thing. So let's make a new assignment here. Okay, so we're going to make an assignment. This is going to be called test assignment, and the points, it will be worth 100 points. So I'm going to save it, and it's going to appear at the bottom of this category or group. And then when I go into it, there's nothing here. There's no content. So I'm going to edit it. And then I can edit everything I want. We'll get to that in just a minute. For assignments, when you're out of edit mode, the rubric button is here. And so I can build a rubric from scratch, put a title on it, put different, my different criteria. What I want to make sure I do, if I want to use this rubric to score students, is I need to make sure that I check use this rubric for assignment grading. If I don't do that, then what will happen is I'll check off the little, you know, criteria that they got, but I'll have to manually add up the points, and I don't want to do that. So I can always override it if I don't, if I want to, but it is kind of a shortcut, especially for the students who do, you know, really well. It's really easy to just give them, you know, points. Okay, so that is going to be, let's go ahead and, oh, it's telling me that my point total is 5 points. That's the default. Every criteria comes with 5 points. But my points that I've given this assignment are 100. So I don't know if I leave it different. I don't know what will happen. So let's just make that 100 points, and then we'll create this rubric. Okay, now it's happy. I can also use a rubric that I have created in the past. So for example, if you have, you know, a general essay rubric that you want to use for several essays, or, you know, or any kind of assignment that you have one rubric that you want to keep using, it's really easy to do that. You just go to find a rubric, and then you actually have to choose the course. So you've got to go in here, and I'm going to choose last semester's class. It's all the same rubrics though, because I just keep copying them over. So then I can find the rubric that I want, and I don't know, I'll just add this one, and then I'm going to use that rubric, and then that rubric gets popped in here. I don't want that rubric on here, so I'm gonna delete that. Okay. Now, rubrics in discussions are different. So for a discussion, if I want to make a discussion, I'm going to say it's a test. What happened there? Oh, okay, I just created it. Okay, so here's my test discussion. And then I have to make sure that I choose grading. And I probably, for most discussions, I want to allow threaded replies. That just means that students are able to reply to each other like nested. They can nest their comments. I guess that's how you would say it. You can also have them be able to like, I don't know what this podcast feed thing is. This option here, users must post before seeing replies. You might consider that if you want students to not look at what others have posted first. So if you want to try to get them to, you know, post something without being able to look at what other people have answered first, you can use that option. However, there is a workaround that students know about. It's very easy to figure this out. I have seen this done, and in fact, I have actually used this strategy. I call it a strategy, not cheating, because it's right there. All you have to do is just type one sentence or one word, or even just you know, a period, and then post that, and then you can go back and edit later. So it's not really preventing anyone from seeing, you know, what others post. I think if you have a question that you don't want them to see what someone else is saying, it shouldn't be a discussion. That's my personal opinion. I think you should just make that an assignment that only you can see. Okay, and then let's see. I want to give this some points here. We'll make it 50 points. And I have the opportunity to put it into any category from here. And then I'm going to save and publish. Okay, so here's my discussion. To get to the rubric, though, it's a little bit hidden. So I have to go up here, and then I have to say add rubric here. And if you remember, as a student, this is also the spot where students can view rubrics. So for regular assignments, as you know, the rubric just kind of appears, it's plopped down there, it's very visible for students to see. But in discussions, it's not. So I really recommend, especially at the beginning, if you are going to use a rubric for a discussion, that you put a little sentence in there, either telling them to just hit those 3 dots on the upper right-hand side and open the rubric that way. Or you can take your rubric, and if you know how to do a screenshot of it, you can add a screenshot and then just add that for decoration. Students with screen readers should be able to navigate to the rubric, but again, you probably want to have some kind of instructions, or maybe even you want to include the Canvas guide for how to look at rubrics in a discussion. That might be a good thing to have. Okay, Turnitin assignments. So let's go back to our assignments, and we'll look at this test assignment here. Okay, so right now, as you know, I've made this assignment, and I can add a rubric. I'm just going to add any rubric here. Let's see. Oh, this is old. Let me get to a newer class. Okay, I am going to Oh, I think this is Jean Carroll's class that she added me to. Okay, anyway, I am going to have this rubric here. So if I want to make a Turnitin assignment, this is the steps that I need to do. I need to create a regular assignment, and then I have to add the rubric, and then I'm going to go back in and edit, and I'm going to change no submission. I don't want online either, because that would just be a regular online assignment. What I'm going to choose is external tool, and then I'm going to scroll down to Turnitin legacy. And once I do that, then that's going to create this Turnitin assignment, but it's also going to have the rubric attached. Yeah, here it is right here. Okay, so the rubric's attached. I don't want to grade him because this is an actual student and that I had in this class in the spring. I don't know if he's going to get a notification. Okay, peer review assignments. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back to editing this same assignment. And I can't do it. I can't do a peer review when it's a Turnitin assignment. So I'm going to change it to online, and then I'm going to let them upload. And what I'm going to do is choose peer reviews. Okay, now I have not done this a lot, but many other instructors I know use this, and it's pretty easy to figure out. I think I haven't had any problems with it, but again, I haven't used it that much. I plan to use it, of course, a lot more when I'm doing 1A online. I think this is going to be the easiest way for them to do peer review with each other. So what I can do here is I have a choice. I can have them just automatically assigned or manually. Probably in a small class like 1A, I probably want to, I know the students, so I probably want to do manual. Anonymous peer reviews, that would be if you don't want them to be able to see who is reviewing or whose paper they're reviewing. Okay, so I'm just going to say manual, and then I'm going to save this assignment. And now up in the top right under the Speedgrader, I have this option for peer reviews. So I have to set this up, okay? So what I can do here is I guess I can still do automatic if I use this option over here on this side. But if I want to assign them peers, then what I'm going to do is press this, and then I'm going to select this guy. I'm going to add him. Now they're partners with each other. Or Austin, I think this is right. Austin is going to see Gabriel's paper. I think that's right. And so then I can make Gabriel see Austin's or whatever. So when they go to the assignment and they submit it, it's automatically going to be over in this peer review area. And then Austin is going to get access to click and see Gabriel's assignment. Okay, now that's the part that I'm not quite clear on how they do that. My students in the past were able to do it without me having to help them. So I definitely, if I'm going to use this, I definitely want to find the Canvas guide, the tutorial for this, and make sure that I understand it. And then also, from the student's point of view, and then also give the students that tutorial for them to look at. Okay, groups. So let's just go back here. Oh, here's back to the assignment. And so for groups, sorry. First, before I go into the settings, I have to set up my groups. So setting up the groups is through people. And I already have one group already set up, but if I wanted to, and I was just playing around with that, that's not a real one. But let's see, let's make a group set, okay? So this is just gonna be like the group project. I don't know, maybe this is gonna be for discussion a 1, because I just want them to have this discussion in smaller groups rather than the whole class. So here I can either have the Canvas. So I've got, say I've got 30 students. Let's see, we'll do about 6 groups, and required group members to be in, oh, this is because I have this class cross-listed with another class. So yeah, that doesn't matter to me. And then there's, you can do leaders, okay? Or you can set as random student as a leader. But I want to, I do not want to do this. I want to create my groups manually. Okay, so that this number 6 doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to save it. And then I'm going to add my groups. So I'm just going to say group 1 and group 2 and so on. And then I'm going to take the students and I just drag them into, oh, let's open it up to see who they are. Yeah, I can just drag whoever I want here and here and here, etc. Okay. And okay, so once I have my group set up, then I'm going to go into my assignments. And now when I say it's a group assignment, okay. So I can select one of the categories. So what I can do here is I can you know, select it by category that I've already set up, or I guess I can just add a new category right here and then go back into people and then assign them. So if I do this based on, well, let's do it based on the one that I just made, and then I'm going to save it. Okay, and then when I do the Speedgrader, it's not going to look any different. I'm just going to see, you know, each student and what they did. If I want to look at what they're doing within their groups, then I think the easiest way to do that is going to be from the gradebook once they start to, and the Speedgrader, once they start to, you know, submit things or post on the discussion board, then they can go in and then I can go in and I can look for one student and then go into the discussion board, the group discussion board that they participated in, and I can monitor it from there. Okay. Oh, discussions. There's a feature on discussions that I did want to show you, and actually, is this ours? Yeah, this is ours. So let me show this to you. Okay. So when I look at the discussions, I can come over here and I can get a real quick snapshot of the discussions that I need to check up on. So, you know, this has 0, these 2, I actually have already checked those. They're 2 little comments that you guys made after the fact, and I just didn't get in there and clear them. This one has 0, so I've read everything. This one, however, has 21 unread replies. So I'm behind. I need to get into this discussion and check it out. So there is, of course, I can just scroll down, and as I scroll down, the ones that I haven't read yet are going to come up with a little red dot on here. So I can do it that way. But if I want to get sort of an overview of what I need to look at, just so I can see, you know, is there anything that I need to reply to? if a student is asking me a direct question or they've made their original post and I want to reply to that, probably I should reply. But if they're just talking to each other, you know, I don't need to get involved in that. I can just skim over those. So there's a couple ways to do that. One is you can collapse the reply. So what this does is all the nesting comments just kind of get collapsed. And then I can see over here how many I still need to read. So I can see, oh, on Kristen's, okay, I already read that one. I can skip that one. Karen's, there's one that I haven't read yet. On Michael's, oh, there's a few that I haven't read that. I should probably go check it. So then I can uncollapse them. Or I can do it like this. I can do unread, and now all of the comments that I haven't had a chance to look at yet, now they're just going to pop up. Now I can't do anything with them here. I can just skim through them, but I can get a good idea, and the red doesn't go away, which is good. But I can just get a good idea. So let's see. Oh, here's a question. Yeah. Yeah, YouTube channels, it sounds fancy, but it's not. Oh, okay, I don't want to get off topic though. Okay, we'll get into that a little bit later. Probably the videos that you guys have to do next week. We'll still talk about that. Okay, let's see. Oh, okay. Let me take a step back, and actually I want to go into assignment here and show you the rich content editor. Okay, so what that means, what they're talking about is all of this stuff up here, this and this box right here. These are all of the features. Now they're a little similar to Word, but this is much better because it kind of doesn't allow you to do some of the funky things that make documents inaccessible that Word does. You can still make it inaccessible here, but it's harder to do that. It kind of was designed with accessibility in mind, okay? Where Word is, sorry, it's a piece of crap, and it was not. You can do all kinds of weird, funky things that are a nightmare. So that's why when you take Word text and you copy it and you paste it into a Canvas pane, the editable pane like this, the formatting is all jacked up because Word formatting is weird. Okay, but when they talk about the rich text editor, okay, that's what this all is right here. And so what they're saying that you should do is when you want to format things, you should use the headers. Okay, so this is like my overview of the assignment, and then you should use bullet lists or numbered lists instead of doing this. Don't do that. That's practically useless. Do it like this, like that. One really cool thing for formatting is using these indent, this indent tool, I guess. And so let's see if I want to do that, and I just kind of want to do that. But if I want to make this one indented, then I just go to the line, or I think, yeah, if I highlight all of them, then I can move them over. And this will not prevent screen readers from being able to understand this. So I definitely want to use this rather than doing this space by space. Okay, so this is going to be horrible for a screen reader. It's going to have to say all these null spaces. I think it actually says null space, null space, null space every time you hit that button. So try to avoid doing that. Okay, and then if I want to move it, you know, I can move it wherever I want, or I can do this. Okay, let's see what else. Oh, the hyperlink. So when I want to add a hyperlink, then I'm going to use this little link right here, and I would just paste the URL in there, and then that's the easy way to do hyperlink here. I can add a image or a video, but let's see. And then of course the bold and the table and sort of your regular features. I think that's about it. Okay, now regarding the HTML editor, you probably do not need this except for in one case, if you are going to embed a video. This is the place that I use it. So if I have a, oh gosh, I'm not set up for this. Let's see. Let's do, let's just go to YouTube. And let's see.
Disney Plus, Hulu, and EX.
Okay, so I want to, how to make beef jerky. Yes, I was looking up how to make beef jerky. If I want to just share this video, okay, then I can just copy the URL and I can paste it here. And it looks like that. Let's see what it looks like. Looks like that when I save it. That's all right. Or I can do this. Oh, come on. I can get the embed code, okay, and I'm going to copy the embed code. And then I'm going to come over here to the HTML editor. Okay, that turns it into code. So right now I'm working with code. And then I'm going to copy that. And then I'm going to go back to my RCE. And then it just puts the video inside. Okay, so you're not dealing with, that little thumbnail thing or the ads. It just looks a little more attractive. And you can actually, I think you can make this bigger or smaller. Oh, maybe no, maybe you can't. I guess you can't. But I can get rid of my spaces and it looks like that. So the only advantage is just the way that it appears, okay? Okay, Speedgrader. Let's see. Let me actually go to an assignment that has, there we go. Okay, so for the Speedgrader. Okay, so here is my assignment, and then my Speedgrader's in another tab. This takes me to the very first student, and I can read his thing. I can manually give him points. I can view the rubric. So I can mark him, and then I can save it. I can add comments. I can attach a document here. I can also attach a video comment or an audio comment. And using this, actually Karen and I were talking about this the other day, using this speech recognition thing is a little messy the way it looks, but making a video comment. Okay, now here's the problem. It's not going to let me do it because my camera is already being used for this thing, but I can block that. Okay, and so I think there's a way, it's going to come up on yours as a way to, you can either choose to use your camera or not. And so then I can just start recording. And this is just a really nice way. It's not something that is too time consuming, and especially if you can just put your voice on there and just say a sentence or two to each student. That is a really nice way to reach out to them in another mode. to make yourself a human to them. And it's, you know, I'm not saying you have to do it for every single time, but it might actually be, you might find it easier than typing in a few, you know, comments if you're not quick at typing, just easier to say it. So I suggest at least trying this. It is perfectly fine to give students audio feedback as long as you know that you do not have any deaf or hard of hearing students in your class. So if you do not have a student who has requested an accommodation for being deaf or hard of hearing, they and the accommodation would be they need everything in print, for example. If you don't have that, which most of the time I'm going to go out on a limb and say we don't have that, then it's perfectly fine to give audio feedback. And then if you only have, you know, one student in your class or two students in your class that need that accommodation, you can just give them written feedback and you can give everybody else audio feedback. That is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to make announcements or give feedback in a way that is something that's very timely and not put captions on it. That is perfectly okay. What the thing that you want to make sure that you have captions on your videos for is anything that is going to be sort of like a teaching new content that students would view later, and also anything that's going to be carried over from one semester to the next. So if you have like an intro video that you're making, you know that's going to be for everyone, and you don't know what students are in your class necessarily at the beginning of the semester. So you want to make sure that that's accessible. But once you get going and once you know who your students are, then you don't have to worry about that as much. And especially if you're just giving quick feedback, even if it's to the whole class, but it's just a quick little feedback on something that you're going to change for the next semester, that is perfectly fine to not have captions on that. Okay, let's see, still in the Speedgrader here. Let's get off of this. So the way that the Speedgrader works is I can move through it with the arrow, and then that's going to have each student come up, and I can grade them. The other thing that I can do is use this down arrow. And for example, if I'm grading and I have a couple students, you know, one at the top of my list and one at the bottom, it's easier to go through this way. And then anyone who doesn't have a grade is going to have a little orangey dot next to their name. And so then you can go in and then you can see which students you need to grade. Let's see. This one takes you back to the grade book, which I always find that helpful to grade the next assignment. This takes you back to the assignment. This one takes you back to the course. Okay, that is probably everything I want to say about the Speedgrader right now. There are just a few different ways to use it. Oh, another thing that is helpful for me is this, how many have I graded, so I can see. So when I'm in my list and I'm going through, I can kind of get an idea. Okay, I only got 10 more left or whatever. It's just a kind of little, I don't know, mental thing for me. Okay, copying a Canvas course. Okay, so this is what you're going to want to do, right? You've been working on things in your sandbox, and you want to copy those elements, perhaps the whole entire sandbox, but probably not. Probably just, you know, your modules and the things that you've been working on in your sandbox that you want over into your actual course. So let's see. Let's go to the course right here. And I'm going to go into settings. And I'm going to choose import course content. Export course content is going to give you a file that you have to then do something with, and it's more complicated. A more streamlined way is going to be to import. So you're not going to be doing this in your sandbox. You're going to be doing this in your actual course. And then what you're going to do, and you will not have any of this. This is just a bunch of junk on here. I don't know why there's so many. Oh, probably just I probably pulled bits and pieces out of different out of my courses. And it looks like on this one, I just wasn't patient. I did it 2 times in a row. It was because I wanted to hurry. Or actually 3 times. Okay, so what you're gonna select is you're gonna copy a Canvas course. Even if you just want one single assignment or one single file or module or whatever, you're gonna choose copy a Canvas course. And this is gonna open up a whole bunch of stuff. Include completed courses. I guess that if you don't have that, it's only going to give you what's going on this semester or things that don't have a date on them. Okay, so then I'm going to select your course, and this brings up all of your courses, so you have got to look through them. But let's say probably I would think that your sandbox is going to be down at the very bottom. So let's say we want to pull from let's just pull from an old one here. Okay. If I want to copy the entire course, so that's what I don't know if I would ever do that. Yeah, maybe. If I have my course pretty much how I want it, and then I'm teaching the exact same course, same number of weeks and everything, so I just want all of my content transferred from this into that. Then I would just say all content, and then nothing else happens. But if I want to select specific content, only bits and pieces, or maybe I just want the modules and I don't want the announcements, or I don't want the discussions, or I don't want, all the files. I want only the files that I need, whatever. Then I'm going to select specific content, adjust events and due dates. Okay, so you can shift your due dates, and this is helpful if you're going from a fall to a spring class. The problem is going to be for spring break. So if you're going from fall to spring, the dates aren't really going to work. You're still going to have to adjust everything that comes after spring break. Or if you do fall to fall or spring to spring, that might work. And so you can set up your dates that way. But I don't know, for me, just remove all the dates. And then here's the hard part right here, the part that is a little unnerving, is you have to choose import before you select. So you import, now you go back and you select what content you want, okay? So I want all my course settings the same. If I've made any course settings, that's gonna include your navigation, it's gonna include your homepage that you set up. If you want the same syllabus, if you want your modules, or you can select the different modules. So maybe I am just going to select this module. This is my face-to-face class that went online, so I don't have modules, weekly modules. On my assignments, maybe I want to check the different assignments, different quizzes. Or I can just say, I want all the quizzes, and then I'm going to select that content. I'm not going to do it right now, though, because I don't want to bring all this in. But I'm going to select that content, and then it takes a little while. And so you just have to check up here, and it'll say like running or in progress or something. And it takes a few minutes. It probably depends on the amount of content that you're bringing in, but no more than like 15 minutes. Okay. Lots of topics. I will try my best to give you the timestamp on each of the topics. And if you have any other questions about anything, or you want me to go over something, something else, then I'm more than happy to do this. I'm kind of using this as a little experiment because I don't really make a lot of videos using Zoom, but we're going to see how this works. And again, I see my camera is like going in and out. Oh, I really need to fix that. It only is doing it on Zoom though. It's not doing it when I am recording from my software that I use. So I don't know. It's not doing it right now. I don't know. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. I'll talk to you guys later.